Says that he witnessed suspicious behavior of the 35-year-old Hugo Hernandez Mendez following DaCara's disappearance.
Cody tells Fox 5 he lives next door to the alleged illegal immigrant who police say killed DaCara Thompson inside of his bedroom in a Bowie, Maryland home. Cody says early in the morning on August 23rd, he stepped outside of his home and saw something burning in the suspect's backyard. He says he still can't believe this happened.
I'm terrified. This could happen next door to my house, in my neighborhood. Like, my wife sits regularly in between the two houses and smokes late at night. This girl deserves justice, whatever justice can be given in this world.
We believe the murder occurred in the home on Cambridge Drive in Hernandez's bedroom. Her body was taken to the location that it was recovered at by Hernandez. At this time, there are no additional suspects. However, this investigation is on.
Child, every single day new details come out about what really happened to 19-year-old DaCara Thompson on the night she disappeared, and each update feels darker and more disturbing than the one before. Because from what investigators pieced together, it now seems almost certain that the crime took place inside Hugo Hernandez Mendez's bedroom in his house on Cambridge Drive, before her body was carried out and dumped where it was eventually discovered. And while the police have said there are no other suspects for now, the investigation is still active, and every new piece of evidence only raises more unanswered questions that haunt both the public and Dara's family. Like whether Dara and Hugo actually knew each other beforehand, or if he lured her with something convincing enough to make her step into his car without showing signs of struggle. Because remember, her own vehicle was found parked neatly with her purse, credit cards, debit cards, and even cash still inside, which makes it obvious she never planned to be gone for long, especially since she had told her father she would be home soon. And that little detail alone breaks hearts, because she was so close to safety yet ended up in the hands of someone capable of unimaginable cruelty. And while we may never know the exact words Hugo used to convince her,
it's been hard. Came to the scene, we did discover that all of her personal belongings were in her car, such as her purse, her credit card, her debit cards. She even had $60 cash.
DaCara's father gave News 4 this surveillance video allegedly taken from a home near where DaCara's SUV was found. He says it appears to show her walking away from the car around 1:30 a.m. Saturday morning, about 3 hours after she left her father's home in Lanham. Her parents say they haven't heard from or seen DaCara since. Her phone was not left in her car, and her parents say it's been disabled.
The federal authorities have now revealed that Dara might not have been his only victim, since they discovered multiple pieces of women's clothing, underwear, and other personal belongings inside his bedroom, suggesting a chilling possibility that he targeted other young women before Dara. And this, of course, has led people to ask how someone with a criminal record and an undocumented status could avoid detection for so long. Because with his multiple DUIs and legal trouble, he should have already been on the authorities' radar. But instead, he was free and able to prey on Dara, which makes the whole situation even more painful. And when police first came to the scene where Dara's car was abandoned, they confirmed her personal items were untouched, nothing stolen. Her money was there, her purse was there, her cards were there. And her family even shared surveillance footage from a near—
It's not like her at all. This is out of the norm for her. She's a introvert. She doesn't have an enormous amount, like a lot of friends that she hangs with or anything like that. And like we're
nearby house that allegedly captured Dara walking away from her car around 1:30 in the morning, which was about 3 hours after she had left her father's house in Lanham. And after that, her parents never heard from her again. Her phone was disabled, and hope began to fade as hours turned into days, though her family still posted flyers and begged for help, holding on to the belief that maybe she would still come home alive. But on August 31st, police found her body along an embankment near Route 50 in Anne Arundel County, and the discovery crushed her.
But I'll say this, the goal of this office is to achieve justice for DaCara Thompson and for her family.
Because the body showed visible trauma, skull and facial fractures, and other signs of a brutal struggle. And even though her remains were badly damaged, her family was able to confirm her identity by tattoos and jewelry, and once police told them that she had been killed elsewhere before being dumped, the case became even more shocking. Because that meant Hugo not only harmed her but also carried her lifeless body into his vehicle and drove off to dispose of her like she was nothing, and that thought alone is sickening. But what makes it worse is that he allegedly did this while other people, including relatives, were inside the same house, which raises terrifying questions about how no one noticed, or if they noticed but chose not to speak, because one cousin later admitted Hugo had been acting strange for 2 weeks, keeping to himself. And during that same time frame, 3 other Black women with similar features went missing in the area. And if that doesn't make your skin crawl, I don't know.
Kind of an outgoing, soft-spoken, kind young lady. She was a free spirit. She was a good girl. She was a good kid. So there's been a lot of people disparaging her character on social media and things as such. Please don't believe everything you see. Don't believe everything you hear. Out of respect for the family and us grieving, please, approach everything with grace. We would appreciate that.
What will, because how could so many disturbing coincidences stack up without pointing to something larger? And another roommate even told police that on the night Dara was there, he overheard Hugo with her in the bedroom, and what he heard didn't sound mutual or consensual at all. And later, when he noticed Hugo's car was gone at a time when it was usually parked outside, he found it odd, but didn't say anything. And now everyone is asking how multiple people living under one roof could be blind to what was happening. How could no one see Hugo carrying a body? Did they turn a blind eye because they were undocumented themselves and didn't want attention from the police, or did one of them even help him carry Dara to the car, because investigators believe it would be difficult for one man to manage all of that on his own without being seen. And this is why some believe more than one person knows the truth about what happened that night. And as police dug deeper, they looked at surveillance footage from the night Dara vanished and saw her leaving her SUV, walking to a black GMC, first talking to the driver on the driver's side, then entering from the passenger side, and that car traced back to Hugo, who initially lied and claimed he was at a nightclub waiting for an ex-girlfriend who never arrived. But his story didn't add up, and when police searched his home with a warrant, they found Dara's blood, her missing clothes, her wig, her nails, and other belongings tossed away as trash, alongside the stash of women's underwear that didn't belong to Dara, which is why people now suspect Hugo might be a predator with more victims, not just a man who acted out once, and while he was quickly charged with first and second-degree murder, people are furious that he had the chance to commit this crime in the first place, since his legal history should have put him on law enforcement's radar long ago. But instead, justice failed Dara before it even had a chance to protect her, and the community has been left outraged, especially on social media, where debates rage over why her story didn't receive immediate attention, with some saying it's because the suspect was an undocumented immigrant rather than a white man, and that uncomfortable conversation has made this tragedy not just about Dara, but also about how society responds to crimes depending on who the perpetrator is. Yet at the heart of it all is still a grieving family who just wants the world to know their daughter was a kind, introverted, free-spirited young woman who didn't deserve this fate. And they ask people to stop spreading rumors about her lifestyle or choices, because none of it changes the fact that she was violently taken from them, and while some speculate she may have been involved with Hugo in some way, possibly even in a sugar daddy situation, nothing justifies or explains away the cruelty of what he did. And whether she knew him for 5 minutes or 5 years, she didn't deserve to lose her life this way, and that's the point people should not forget. And now the big question hanging over everyone is whether more women will be tied to Hugo once investigators continue searching through the evidence and matching it to unsolved missing persons cases, because already the similarities between Dara's death and other missing women in the same area are alarming, and people are terrified that Hugo may have been operating under the radar for years, targeting vulnerable women without raising suspicion. And if that's the truth, then this case is only the beginning of a much larger and scarier story that could expose not only Hugo's crimes, but also the failures of the system that let him slip through the cracks again and again. And as Dara's family fights for justice, the public waits for answers. But one thing is certain. Her story has shaken the community to its core and reminded everyone of how fragile life can be and how important it is to hold predators accountable before more lives are lost.